This is TWiT.
This is wild. Did you see this? $360,000 for the Nintendo PlayStation.
Yes.
It never came to market. Is that right? I don't know anything about this.
Okay, let me explain, or let Brianna explain this.
Yeah, Brianna probably knows something about it.
I can tell you all about it.
Tell us all about it, Brianna.
Okay. So
he stole my Soylent. You better talk.
There's an alternate history where the Sony PlayStation never came out, and Nintendo dominated the optical drive space. So after the Super Nintendo era, Sony was working with a partnership with Nintendo to put out a new type of system based with optical media to get around the low storage space of that
maybe
era.
You young people don't remember, but in the old days, we didn't have CDs or DVDs for games. We had cartridges, and you'd blow in it. And you'd put it in, and that was how you played on the NES with a cartridge.
Right. It was very memory limited, or very.
Games were very primitive as a result.
Very, very expensive to produce. There are a lot of famous cartridge shortages because of that. So, anyway, long story short, Nintendo ended up going with the N64 with the partnership with Silicon Graphics. And then Sony had this technology with the optical drive, ended up bringing in a whole marketing team just as Sega was imploding. Blake J. Harris did a great book about this called Console Wars.
Oh, I love that book. I love that
it's amazing. Book. So they swooped in. And this particular device it's like a relic of this lost history. Because if Nintendo had gone ahead, Sony would not be as dominant today as they are. A lot of people feel. Palmer Luckey, we're friends on Facebook. He was bidding like crazy on this, trying to get it. So I was rooting for him. But ended up, this guy got it for $360. He's going to put it in a museum. A lot of people expected this to go for like $750,000. So this is actually low compared to what most people expected.
I blame Palmer Luckey for not having any guts. He could have bid it up. He's got the money.
Yeah. If Nintendo had not gone forward with this, had gone forward with this design, there would be no PlayStation. This is why the PlayStation exists.
It's labeled Sony PlayStation.
Nintendo PlayStation.
Well, see, there's a Sony label on it. It is the Nintendo PlayStation, but look, it says Sony. But this is a prototype. Maybe the production would not have been labeled that way. It was found inside a box of stuff once owned by former Sony Entertainment CEO Olaf Olafsson. The company that he was working at went bankrupt. This stuff was auctioned off. A guy named Terry Diebold acquired it in the auction. He's been taking it around to conventions for years. He finally decided to sell it at auction. This prototype has never before been offered. So it's historic, but it's not a product that ever was made. Nintendo PlayStation, $360,000. That's pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah. What year was that? Do we know?
96, 95?
Yeah. No, it's easy to say, the revisionist history, and I bet you there's already an Amazon pilot being made. But
with Nazis, probably.
With Nazis, certainly with Nazis, because it's no good if there's no Nazis. Nazis are the new vampires, by the way. Did you know that? Yeah. But there's no guarantee. We've seen a lot of, this would have been the next big thing go by the wayside. I remember from that era, tons of Atari Lynx, the 3DO. Remember all these? There were a lot of great games. The 3DO was awesome.
Well, it didn't have the software to last.
It's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I loved playing it, but it was
just too expensive.
Maybe that was it.
Yep. They're about to re-release the PC Engine, also known as the TurboGrafx 16. That's getting a Super Nintendo-style mini cartridge that's coming out. I'm really excited about that because I could never afford one of those.
Yeah.